Okay, time for another video. Welcome back and thank you for coming back. I've talked about quite a few things on this channel so far, but one thing I haven't talked about is tuning. And after all, this is largely about tuning. So let's talk about tuning. There are many articles and videos and whatnot out there on the internet and in the bookstores or wherever that explains how you tune to 432 Hz. And they all say pretty much the same thing. Whatever instrument you have, you take your middle A, and instead of tuning it to the standard 440, you tune it down to 432, and then you tune your other notes accordingly, whether it's strings or keys or whatever it is. Now, this isn't exactly wrong per se, but it's not exactly right either. It's a little bit oversimplified. Because what they don't take into account, at least very few take this into account as far as I've seen, is the musical temperament. Now, musical temperament is, very simply put, the relative distance between the notes in a scale, or the size of the intervals. Many people think, including many musicians, many musicians out there aren't even aware that there is such a thing as musical temperament and that there are many different temperaments to choose from. And all the different temperaments give a sort of a different feel to your music. An equal temperament is a very practical invention. It's very handy. It makes music more accessible because you don't have to have comprehensive knowledge about tunings and temperaments to be able to do it. It's very simple to tune, and then you can just play away. If you need to change keys, no problem, you can just change keys. But in actuality, for perfectly harmonious music, you actually have to tune your instrument to one specific key. So if you're going to play in A major, for example, you have to tune your instrument to A major. And then if you want to change keys, to say E, then you have to retune your instrument. Obviously, this is very impractical, so us human beings, in all our cleverness, we came up with this equal temperament. The problem with equal temperament is that it isn't exactly harmonious. In fact, the only harmonious intervals in equal temperament is the octaves and the fifths. Other than that, they are more or less off. Now, most people can't hear this. Even with a trained ear, it's very difficult, if not impossible, to hear because the differences are so subtle. But in terms of sound healing, our bodies can definitely feel it. And it can be agitating and irritating, and in the long run, it can actually be damaging to listen to too much music in equal temperament. It depends on many factors, and I'm not going to write off equal temperament as completely useless. It definitely has its uses, and disharmony can be very useful actually as a tool for a sound healer if you know how to use it. I'll talk more about that in a future video also. I'm not going to go on and on about this in this video. For now, just be aware that there is such a thing as musical temperament. Do some research on it. Be aware of equal temperament, that is the standard and that is not very useful for sound healing and 432 tuning. What are some better temperaments to use? The most famous one is probably what is called Pythagorean tuning. My next video will be about Pythagorean tuning. And the one I like the best is called just intonation. I'll also make a whole video just about just intonation. I think that's good for this video. I don't want to go on and on forever. Like I said, do your own research, double check and triple check absolutely everything I say. And thank you once again for watching. And thank you for playing my music. Keep doing it, please. I really appreciate it. Follow me on Instagram. I'm active there pretty much every day. Loads of things happening. If you want to know all this right away and don't have to wait for me to get through all these videos, you can buy my book. It's available on Amazon in all countries, both as a paperback and Kindle. And that's that for now. I'll see you in about a week.